Back in the book segment tonight, as you may know, Fox political analyst Charles Krauthammer, not a big fan of Donald Trump running for president. In fact, Charles said on the air that Mr. Trump is the Al Sharpton of the Republican Party. After that, Mr. Trump called Krauthammer for a discussion. And joining us now from Washington is Mr. Krauthammer. So let's walk through this slowly. So Trump calls you up, right? Civil conversation, you reported on Bret Baier's show, right? Civil conversation?
Right.
Didn't change your mind?
It didn't change my view of his unseriousness as a political candidate one iota. What I did say is that he was gracious and calm on the phone, and given what I'd said about him, that was sort of surprising. So I gave him credit for that. And also, the fact that he was indicated to me that he was serious about running for the presidency, because otherwise, why would he call? And if he called, why would he be civil?
Well, so he calls a lot of people.
But it didn't change anything about...
He called me and said he didn't like the Al Sharpton thing. He thought that was demeaning, that was a cheap shot, that he's not Al Sharpton. He has a record of achievement. He's going to release his financial records. It's going to show $7 billion net worth. You know, he's saying, how can you compare me to Al Sharpton when I'm a proven businessman? I know what I'm doing. You
Look,
said?
I'm not comparing bank accounts. I explained what I meant by that. He's like Al Sharpton in the sense that he is slick, smooth, spouts provocative nonsense, operative word nonsense, which will distract any presidential debate. And when we spoke on the phone, this is stuff I said to him on the phone. I'm not just saying it here. I said, as an example, the birther conspiracy nonsense. And he says to me, oh, the media, well, that's because the media have been asking me about that. And I said to him, and here I can quote myself directly, I said, Mr. Trump, you are not a media victim. You brought it up. And he says, oh, no, no. My real issues are OPEC, Iraq, oil, the Chinese, the economy. I said, all right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about your idea of seizing Libyan oil, seizing Iraqi oil, and demanding $1.2 trillion worth of oil. That is a nutty idea. That's what makes you unserious. Look, Bill, that kind of talk is the stuff you expect at a guy at a bar at closing time with slurred speech.
But there are a lot of guys in bars who could support him. Look, I made the analogy yesterday.
But that's not a serious presidential candidate.
In your opinion, but in the guy in the bars whose vote counts just as much as yours, it is. See, this is the problem we're getting into. Charles, I don't have as opinion of American people as you do. No, I don't. I'm not saying that. I'm not. There is anybody out there who thinks that we should seize Iraqi oil and restart a war. He broke that on my show, and I challenged him all day long, and you know it. Okay? I was as tough on Trump as I am on every other politician. But what I'm trying to say to you is it's getting complicated now. As I told Congresswoman Bachmann, if Trump decides to go, he's going to run on a populist ticket, much like Pat Buchanan did. Remember, Buchanan won the New Hampshire primary, so that Donald Trump could inject all kinds of chaos within the Republican Party if he chooses to do so. You know I'm right about that. No, you're wrong, because the analogy is wrong. Buchanan was a serious guy who'd been in politics since the mid-1960s, had worked in the Nixon administration, had worked in the Reagan administration, was familiar and fluent in just about every policy. He was not in any way somebody coming out of the blue and spouting this kind of nonsense. On this, I'm with Chris Rock, who said, I won't vote for Donald Trump. He'll find a younger, prettier country and leave us for that. Okay, but Buchanan ran on an isolationist, let anybody do what they want overseas, anti-Israel platform. Okay, and come on, he was appealing to the same folks that Donald Trump is appealing to. Trump could do some serious damage in some primaries. I'll give you the last word. Look, David Brooks said this morning that the Trump candidacy is semi-crackpot. David is half right. Look, I'm not questioning him as a businessman. I'm not questioning him as an honorable American. I'm saying as a politician, man who aspires to the presidency, this is not a serious candidacy. Yet, yes, he'll get some attention here and there. But at a time when the Republicans are proposing, in the Ryan plan, a serious attempt to deal with the serious issue of our time, our debt, we're deeply engaged in this debate. For us to be speaking about the procedures
of the Records Department of Births in Honolulu in 1962. It's absurd. You know that, and I know that.
I have said that from day one. Charles, always a pleasure. Very interesting. Thank you. Penns and Patriots on